Yeah. Yeah.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of NJPW Puroresu Review, a bi-weekly show where myself and Andre, we review the amazing Japanese company that is New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, Melball. That is your Andre. Andre, how are we doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. Only woke up a couple hours ago before we started filming it. So I got this. I'm on my first of 2 days off. I am so happy. It's a nice, beautiful, cold, gross Monday. You know, but since I only woke up, I think I need a little bit of energy, and I think that energy is gonna come from our sponsor, Rogue Energy. You can see the QR code down in the bottom right corner, and you get the promo code on the bottom, OLE Pods. You get 10% off your order. And I just picked up my stuff from Melball. I got my Mina as I like to call it, the
Shirakawa.
The Mina Shaker-kawa special. And I got the blood orange Rogue Energy inside. I haven't tried it yet. I'm about to try it, so I'm going to start right here.
Oh, review. How does it taste?
It literally tastes like I'm drinking an orange.
What did I tell you?
Phenomenal. Yeah, you said that a couple episodes ago. It is literally like drinking an orange. I love it. Oh, it's good. That's so good, actually.
Amazing, right? I myself have been up since like 7:30 this morning, but I did happen to have the Rocket Pop Rogue Energy earlier. I am very much enjoying that. It tastes like you're eating a popsicle, and considering it feels like you're a popsicle outside right now, it's probably a better alternative, right?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
That being said, we have an incredible night of wrestling to review here. We're going to be talking about the Battle Autumn show, the final show of the Battle Autumn tour. 5th of November show. Yeah, it happened on the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. And the show started off with an incredible tag team match for the Junior Tag Team Championships, featuring my personal favorite, Titan and Bushi, against the incomparable United Empire team of TJP and Francesco Akira. Crowns up, sir. Crowns up. Just put that out there real quick.
Gotta love me some United Empire, man. And these two, like, when he initially brought when it was was a year ago or so now, he brought TJP into the group. I was a little skeptical because, again, I'm nothing against TJP. I've loved him for a majority of his career. I think that dude is absolutely phenomenal. Shawn Michaels trained from the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. He's absolutely phenomenal. But I was like I didn't see where he fit. And for a while there, he was just purely wrestling in North America on the Strong promotion representing UE. But when he was added to the Super Juniors Tag League, or the Super Juniors, and then joined up with Francesco Akira to challenge for the titles on their first match together and then win them, I have been absolutely loving the combination of both these men. When Akira was announced for this as part of United Empire, I was like, yes. I saw a couple things from this guy early on, and he was phenomenal. So, and he's showing it.
I very much agree. Francesco Akira, I kind of got a little crush on the young guy. You know, I like the Italians there. Not gonna lie, could eat, pasta for breakfast. But that also being said, he is an incredible talent and has really stepped up and showed out since he has joined with TJP. I have very much been enjoying the combination of the two of them. And I do share the same opinion. TJP was kind of just wrestling almost exclusively in Strong. And he did also, I believe, go down to CMLL, where he probably did tangle with Titan during that time also.
Oh, probably.
But then again, this is almost like a reemergence sort of for Bushi, who kind of is almost being a little left behind as Hiromu is going forward with what it is that he is doing.
And especially this year with the the title match already set before Tag League on top of it all.
Mhm.
You have a few guys. Desperado's is going to be out of the Tag League due to him already being in the title match at Wrestle Kingdom. You
Which is
have
unfortunate.
Master Wato being removed from his tag team too, and you have Hiromu Takahashi, sorry. Complete. And you have him being removed. So this is a very and Teton the Addition, I think, is a wonderful part to put Bushi back in the spotlight as one of the premier juniors for that team. And this match, like, I couldn't have asked for anything better to kick off the show. Like, absolutely phenomenal from both teams.
100%. This was a very lucha feeling match to me. I don't know if you felt the same, but it did distinctly have a lot of dives, a lot of lucha undertones.
Lucha guys. Like 3 are lucha guys. Because TJP spent a lot of years wrestling in Mexico in his early days. Teton from Mexico. Bushi very much inspired in Mexican style and trained Mexican style. Francisco Akira, the odd man out, but he again adapted very, very well to the style that these 3 men brought to this match.
Yes, very much so. And I, again, love seeing the Busharuni happening randomly in the middle of the match. That made me very, very excited. I really do enjoy the lucha kind of tendencies. Sometimes I don't like a full lucha match. What I do like about the New Japan lucha styles is that they do kind of combine the 2 styles of the strong style and the lucha. So there was enough strikes and other things happening throughout the match to really break it up. But I agree, this match was very fast paced, very fun. It was just dive after dive after dive. I loved it. Teton's forearm to the outside feels a little reckless to me sometimes, though, where he comes running into the corner and then goes through the ropes and almost torpedoes into the barricade. That concerns me a little bit, because like, what happens if you miss and now your partner's stuck by himself in the ring? But very effective. Both teams showed a lot of unity. That is something I absolutely love when I see tag teams or factions wrestling together. Los Ingobernables has always been a faction that I've over the moon praised for having that contactless,
them just being a tag team. This is what they're like second time tagging together, I think.
I think so, just together,
or just stuff on the tour, really. That's pretty much it. And so they've only tagged a few times together, and this is the first opportunity, and they're that flowing that well together. It's awesome.
Very, very incredible.
The same thing about TJP and Akira, who came together very well, like in their first match to win the titles. But just some of the beautiful spots. There was like a flapjack. It was like almost like a 3D, but Akira brings him down into like an X Factor. I think it was on Bushi. Oh, I absolutely loved it, man. Like just some of the awesome moves from all these guys. Like Teton hits a Rana, taking TJP to the floor, then does a top rope springboard Musa on to Akira and TJP on the floor. Like just the speed out of all of these men was insanity, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have to agree. This match was very entertaining, filled with incredible moves from each and every single one of them. I think we ended up seeing your favorite move in there coming from United Empire.
Yeah, the Leaning Tower, baby. Yeah, so the end of the match did come. There was an inverted DDT and a double foot stomp combo to Teton, followed by them taking Bushi up onto the shoulders and hitting the Leaning Tower to get the win and retaining the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. I absolutely thought phenomenal opener.
I agree. I have nothing else to add other than it was just a banger of a match. If you are looking for something comparable to the cruiserweight kind of style, this is going to be the kind of match you're going to want to watch in New Japan.
Very much so. Let's move on to another match of a team I very much have a big heart for in the United Empire still. Taking on the team of Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, David Finlay, and Alex Zane. 3 of those 4 men I very much respect. One of them is Toru Yano, and the other one is Toru Yano. But
relatable.
It was a fun 4-on-4 8-man tag. Again, nothing truly special in this match. Again, I think Alex Zane is really being showcased very well, and I love the fact that all of his moves are named after Taco Bell. I love it. I absolutely love them. But yeah, you got much to say on this match?
I actually felt like this match was kind of like a showcase match to kind of be like, hey, we have these really awesome other matches kind of lined up, but these are what else we have kind of lined up also. For myself, I know this is going to sound terrible. I'm not too educated on Aussie Open here. So this was kind of like one of my first handful of times seeing them in a match. I felt that the two of them performed very, very well.
Yeah, you don't like watching Strong, right? Because you don't like Alex Kozlov.
Yeah, it's hard to watch wrestling without commentary because, again, I like to have that knowledge of what's going on. But, Alex Kozlov really makes it hard.
It really stops you. But, no, these guys are absolutely phenomenal. And this really showcased them. And this is their debut match in New Japan, in New Japan, the Japanese side. And man, I think they did a good job. The ending did come. Aussie Open did hit Coriolis on Toru Yano, deservedly so.
And that's that clubbing thing that they do, right?
Yeah, it's the flip up and over. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Coriolis, and they on Yano, and they have Fletcher ends up pinning Yano to get the 1-2-3 and the win.
Something that I did note right at the beginning, as you said, Alex Sane has been very, very impressive on this. His opening sequence, that whole bit that he did with Hinare. Hinare really gave him a lot in that one. I thought Alex Sane looked absolutely tremendous. Not to take away from Hinare. Hinare in that same moment actually had a tremendous comeback and just did end up kind of dominating a little bit.
Yeah.
I did get the feeling that this kind of was an aggressive match for Hinare. I'm not to say that he's not aggressive any other time, but this just felt just a little bit more aggressive than what we usually kind of see him at. The last thing I wanted to mention that I personally thought was hilarious and a little shout out to Yano, if I can, was not to Yano, to Tanahashi, if I can, the spot that he had with Gideon Gray, where he fed the forearm to Gideon and he just stood there with his finger out and then fell over. It gave me Ric Flair vibes.
I forgot about it, yeah. That was a great spot.
Ric Flair vibes, but it was the most appropriate thing to do with Gideon Gray in that moment.
He didn't fall like Flair. He fell onto his back, though. That's the main thing.
That's true. He didn't face plant.
Yeah,
but realistically, falling on your back probably smarter than falling on your face. But let's not tell the Nature Boy that.
So moving on to the third and my least looked forward match of the evening, which ended up turning out to be a highlight for me on this show, because this match officially was only about 30 seconds, and there was about 2 minutes of beatdown of Hikuleo just kicking the crap out of Sho and Yujiro. And then the match starts. He hit a power slam and then a choke slam and then pin Yujiro. Hikuleo is the winner in like 30 seconds and then added on about 2 minutes of beatdown before the match. I'm good. That was all I needed from this match.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel that was like the perfect way to pull this match for someone like myself. You know how I've felt about Hikuleo. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but we have watched him kind of grow up and evolve and really get better. I felt that this was absolutely booked perfectly. Everything about this was perfect. I have so much more respect for Hikuleo. I have so much hate now still for House of Torture. It's perfect. The balance is kept in the universe, in the NJPW universe.
He made it so we didn't have to sit through a 10 to 15 minute Yujiro match. Simple as that.
And we got Peter.
And Peter came back too. So we got Peter.
Bullet Bunny.
Wrestle a bunch of shit, and Hickey moves up in our books too.
Hickey, Bullet Bunny. We're good.
There, we're good. We're happy. Everything worked out well in this match. Simple as that.
Was absolute perfection from start to finish. I got nothing else to say about it. It was great.
So we are going to move on to the first of the two semifinal matches in the NJPW television title tournament. Right there, you can see the bracket. It is Red Narita and Sonata, and then it is also Zack Sabre Jr. and Evil on the other side of the bracket. So we're going to go to Red Narita versus Sonata first, and boy howdy was this one of the best matches in this entire tournament.
Yowza. Like okay. I had to watch this match a second time because the first time I didn't even take notes. I was so just pulled into what it was that I was watching. That this was something that I know Sonata is capable of, but that sometimes he doesn't always pull out. He pulls this out on special occasions. And that was his very traditional kind of chain wrestling, technical wrestling with Narita at the beginning of this match. Again, something I know he's capable of, just don't really see it often. And man, was this incredible. But then Sonata taking Narita onto the outside and pile driving him, not even on the mats, but on the concrete outside of there. I was just like, wow, dear. Sonata is here to play, and he is not backing down. But then those paradise locks, the first one where he had to work so hard to get that first one in, but then the second one to add insult to injury on the rope and just sit there and get the crowd. That's that I'm used to seeing out of Sonata.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing
last
normally.
Paradise lock, he didn't really play the crowd like he usually does, which is very weird.
But again, you got to remember, he's the normal Sonata. He doesn't have to worry about a 15-minute time limit. So in his head, maybe it's put the Paradise Lock on, get the bit of crowd reaction, and run and knock it off within a few seconds. Where this time, the second one, he tied him up in the ropes, and it was a very it was a kind of a really big screw you to Ren Narita in a sense.
Very much.
I'm going to humiliate you here by tying you up in the ropes. And then the ref's not going to do anything because he can't do anything because I need to be able. I'm the only one with the key to this. So the ref couldn't do anything, and technically Sonata wasn't doing anything wrong because he was not attacking him in the ropes. He hooked him up in the ropes and walked away. So there was nothing illegal about it, but it was almost kind of a humiliation to Ren Narita.
Absolutely. That's the exact feeling that I was getting for it. And you can hear Narita just getting so mad and just hollering at him from the ropes, just struggling. But what could he do? He's in the Paradise Lock. And he's tied up in the ropes. He's not going anywhere. Andre, how do you feel about this one?
I thought this match was probably one of the best matches this entire tournament. And we haven't seen the finals yet, but and I think that's going to be incredible. But we've got Narita, I think, has just been, as we've said every time we've talked about him since he's come back, he's been absolutely phenomenal. This kid has just taken what he's been given and given that the spirit of Shibata, the next Shibata feeling, and really taken it, run with it, and made it his own on top of it all. That's the biggest thing. He's made it his own.
Absolutely. He is standing alone.
I'm impressed by everything this kid does. His throws, his submissions, everything. The Cobra Twist, which is the one where you kind of put your arm over and stretch them. Okay. I've never liked that move. It's always seemed like a very dumb move. But the way he applies it, and he grapevines the leg properly, he hooks the head and really pulls. He makes it look really good. That's the biggest thing, is he makes it look really good. And I'm super impressed by both these men. Sonata went for the moonsault again, but he got kneed on the first one this time. Dude, just stop letting go of the skull end. You can get them to pass out from it. Instead, he just lets them go when they're about to pass out and gets screwed on a moonsault almost every single time.
This is what I've been telling you. It's one of the biggest frustrations I have with Sonata, because it's like, dude, you had it. You had it.
The ending to this match kind of came out of nowhere with about 30 seconds left, because they were just smacking the crap out of each other. Then all of a sudden, Narita just hooks them, does the belly to belly, like the Narita special belly to belly with the bridge, and just hold it 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Again, they were calling 30 seconds, and he hit them, and I was just like out of nowhere, and I'm just like, yes, and I loved it. I absolutely phenomenal finish. I was picking, like I said, I thought David Finlay or Ren Narita should be the finalists, and Ren Narita going to the finals absolutely is the right thing to do here to help establish this title by putting on a young up and coming guy. Again, we'll get to who his opponent will be, but I think him winning this title is a very big possibility.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And if anyone is actually interested in seeing this match, it is up on njpw-world.com
No, just NJPW World.
for
There's no dash
free.
for them.
Oh,
The
no
dash
dash.
is
Okay.
Stardom. Yeah.
Either way, the link will be in the description box below. This match is free to view, so if you want to co-watch what Andre and I are talking about, you can do it for free there. Again, link will be in the description box down below.
And this next match is probably one of the most fun matches I've watched in this tournament because they did it again. Sabre did it again. He pulled the same crap he did at the G1.
Sabre shenanigans.
He ended up putting out like they carried or they like dragged Oiwa to the ring.
Fujita.
No, that was Fujita. So they dragged him to the ring because he was the one that initially dressed up like Sabre.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so they have him in the ring. So like, you can't pull your crap. He's with us. And then somebody comes out wearing the ball cap again, and Togo goes to investigate, and it's Oiwa this time, in Rohei Oiwa in the Sabre gear, and out of nowhere, Sabre comes in and attacks Evil from behind, goes for the Euro clutch right off the hop again, but does not get the pin this time. That's the biggest disappointment right there.
Right.
But again, we did get into a match. It wasn't a long match. Don't expect it. It was only a few minutes long. And there was a lot of Evil attacking. Put the chair. He went to put the chair around Sabre's neck, and he went to do it, but Sabre got out of the way, and then he proceeds to beat up Evil on the outside while still wearing the chair around his neck for a while. I absolutely thought that was hilarious. And there's a Evil went for the Darkness Scorpion on the floor, but Sabre just immediately turns it into a heel hook. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, there wasn't a lot more in this match because they ended up back in the ring. Sabre gets an ankle lock, but then he's almost run into the corner. And then Sabre gets rear naked choke, but Togo distracts the ref, and that's where Evil low blows Sabre. So this is where I thought, oh crap, it's over. Evil's going to the finals, and I have to watch Ren Narita lose to Evil, and Evil taking the title. No, Evil goes for the everything is evil. Sabre reverses it into as the move we have seen. LIJ member. Why do I always blank on names when I need them?
Teton?
No.
Bushi?
No.
Naito?
No. Other one. Other
Sonata?
heavyweight champ.
Other heavyweight champ.
Shingo Takagi. Shingo Takagi. That's it. Why I
the dragon.
The dragon. Shingo Takagi. I've watched him regularly use this move to beat people. He pulls him down with the ground cobra, and Sabre pins Evil, and he moves on to the finals. We are rid of Evil in this tournament, but that means we're gonna have to see him in the tag league.
That's
the sad part.
It could be worse, though. Could you imagine if it was Evil versus Ren Narita? I mean, we would know without a questionable doubt what would be happening with those shenanigans. Something that we didn't mention, though, that was happening before both of these TV title matches are these little micro promos, if you will, that were happening before the matches started. The one that happened before with Narita and Sonata was not particularly anything fantastical, but what I will say about Zack Sabre Jr.'s part of this was was utterly hilarious. It was like, you had Fujita on screen, and Fujita, you could hear Zack Sabre Jr. call him a dickhead. Call him a dickhead. It was hilarious. It very much added to the overall feel of this match.
I loved it.
Yeah, I have no complaints about this match. I'm really happy with how this all went. And it was really funny to see 3 people at ringside all wearing Zack Sabre Jr.'s gear.
That was awesome. And Sabre did leave with Oiwa and Fujita. They did end up getting chased to the back by the House of Torture, but I'm good with never seeing them again if I don't have to. And the finals will take place at Wrestle Kingdom, and it's Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the New Japan, the NJPW Television Championship. And every match for this title will be free on New Japan World.
Yeah. That is going to be incredible. I can't wait for that. That's going to be an incredible technical match. That's going to be an old school traditional style match.
Like
I
I said,
can't wait for it.
I was thinking Finley in the finals, but honestly, I could not think of a better wrestling match for the finals.
100%. 100%. So from here, we are going to talk again about Andre's amazing drink that he's got going on today, and that is our Rogue Affiliates. Again, Andre has what I call the Shirakawa special, or you're calling it the Shaker
Kawa special.
So we will leave the link to the website for Rogue Energy in the description box down below, but it is an incredible energy drink site that you want to check out. You can scan the QR code here too. And again, when placing your order, if you use OLE pods, you can get 10% off of your order. They just also released cans, which I am very excited. They do have them as individuals if you want to give them a try, see which flavors you like. They have 3 flavors. There's a strawberry one that I'm very excited to try, as well as a cotton candy. Yeah, we're going to be getting our orders in very soon for those, because they also have fridges now, little mini fridges to go with your energy drinks. I'm very excited. And again, if you use your the little code scrolling down at the bottom there, OLE pods, you can get 10% off your order.
Yeah. So from here, we are going to move. Oops, see, I did something weird there. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. We're going to move on to what was called the mystery tag match, and they had to draw straws the day before to determine who would be tagging with who. It was Master Wato teaming up with El Desperado, taking on Hiromu Takahashi and Taiji Ishimori. How did I not remember his name when my brain is not working today? That's why I need this Rogue Energy to make my brain work.
You know what? My brain wasn't really working much after watching this match the first time. This was another one that I actually had to go back and watch a second time.
This was
because
insanity.
There was just so much, like the first 2 notes that I wrote was, there's so much chaos and I love it.
And it's not even the team either.
Why is everyone bitch slapping each other?
Well, nobody likes each other. So every tag was something like rough. Like they were either slapping each other in the face, they were chopping each other in the chest. Like no tag had any respect on it. Like Taiji Ishimori for like the first 5, 6, 7 minutes wouldn't even like stand up in the corner because he kept jumping off or sitting on the corner. So Hiromu couldn't tag out. So it was just, and then when he finally did, he tagged him, and then he nails him in the face with a forearm, and then
shotgun drop kick
off the apron to Taiji Ishimori on the floor, sending him into the barricade, then sends his partner back in. Like it was just,
and then he tried to pin him.
That's Hiromu trying to pin his own partner.
And then watching Marty Asadi trying to maintain control in this match was hilarious.
And then Desperado and Wada were no better because they kept attacking each other. They were doing dives onto each other. They were attacking each other on the apron, on the outside, in the ring. Like it's hard to recap this match because there was just so much craziness because everybody was attacking everybody. Like you were attacking your opponents, you were attacking your partners. Nobody was on each other's side.
No. It was almost like a fatal 4-way kind of hidden as a tag team match.
Yes. And it was just everybody hitting. And then the end of it was the biggest mystery in my head was there was an all-out melee in the ring. Everybody's hitting each other with everything. And Taiji Ishimori hits his lift up into the double knee lung blower. And then Hiromu gets Wato up on the shoulders after another couple moves. And that's where Ishimori just runs out of nowhere and just nails Hiromu with a high knee to the face, which causes him to fall, and Wato lands on top. And Wato pins Hiromu, getting his first ever pin on Hiromu. And Ishimori essentially gave the other team the win, but he screwed his partner in this by hitting him in the face. So nobody likes each other. Ishimori just grabs his belt and leaves. Nobody's happy. Everybody's pissed. And it was just nothing but crazy. And I loved it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was almost like controlled chaos. It could have really turned into a cluster really, really quickly. But it always had some kind of semblance of organization. It was very odd. One of the one things that I did enjoy was the exchange between Desperado and Watto when they were tagging each other out, and the eventual, get back-ins that Watto did get on Watto.
Yeah.
He certainly handed him a few receipts. There was that one bit where Watto did a dive onto Ishimori, and then he picks him up, and Hiromu then dives, and then Hiromu picks everybody else up, and Desperado followed up with the tope. This was right before the finish. That was where I was like, okay, we're winding down now. Everyone's tired and taken out.
Yeah.
And again, not long after the whole thing with Ishimori and the high knee on Hiromu. Yeah, this match was fun. I laughed a lot more than I would have liked to do, maybe, but I felt that it was a good journey, and I feel that it sets it up really, really well for their Wrestle Kingdom showdown.
I think this is where the show really peaked for me, and I kind of felt a dip in the next couple matches. And again, it's nothing against the next couple matches. I just think after the TV, like, you had a great opener, and that got you high. Then that next match kind of gave you that way to plateau out. That Hikuleo match was so quick and effective, it started sending you back up. And then it that much high. No, for me personally, how I was feeling watching the show through, my energy was so picked up by these last few matches that it kind of crashed in the next one, and it affected how I felt about the match. And again, nothing against this next match. It was Jay White and Kenta taking on Kazuchika Okada and Tama Tonga. I didn't call him Tangaloa this time. But again, nothing against this match. This is one of those, I think this was the match on the entire card that I was least looking forward to after Hikuleo and Yujiro.
Okay.
Just being for the fact it was another combination of Okada and Jay White, who I've seen wrestling each other in all these tag matches the last while. Just saw them on the show in the United States, the New Japan Rumble show, Rumble on 44th Street show. Just saw Jay White and Okada in a tag match against each other with Eddie Kingston and Juice Robinson as their partners. It's another thing of Tama Tonga with Jay White, and Kenta just happens to be Tama's partner in this. Or it happens to be Jay's partner in this, and it just, again, I don't like to shit on it because it wasn't a bad match. It just it didn't suck me in. Again, it was there on the card, and I feel bad for saying it that way, but it was just another match on the card for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, given where it was in the card, I can understand completely how you felt that way for sure, and I do feel the same. This match wasn't anything spectacular to me, but it wasn't bad either. The entertainment that it gave me was very consistent. Jay White was being mouthy as always, really getting at Tama, really getting at Okada. I felt that the banter and like kind of the camaraderie between him and Kenta was, a little humorous at times, where they would get to those points of almost like concern, be like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, but
I found it really amusing. I did feel that Kenta and Jay are actually the best combination for Jay to be working with. Yeah, and especially with Kenta kind of feeling almost like that lone wolf within Bullet Club. I'm liking to see him getting away from the House of Torture guys and kind of working more with the more main guys. But yeah, I didn't note a whole lot from this match other than that I felt that Kenta and Jay were working very, very well together. Always a fan of Tama. I love his work. I love the things that he does in the ring that makes him stand out and be a little bit more unique.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this. With Kenta, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is one of my favorite things about him. But this man's open palm strikes are just brutal. Utterly brutal.
The end of the match was him just smashing
Tama.
Strikes at Tama. Then out of nowhere, Tama just jumps up, hits a gun stun.
Hits that gun stun, yeah.
I'm not against how that finished. I thought it finished very well. I think this match went a little long for where it was placed, and what its significance is. Don't get me wrong. Its significance is it's leading into the main event for Wrestle Kingdom, but I don't think it needed to be as long as it was, especially for where it was placed. But again, it was a good match. I just think from everything before, this is where it dropped for me. And yeah,
for energy, I have to agree.
Anything else for you on this match?
The one thing that I will say that I personally always have liked watching the intros and the outros. With Stardom, it's very easy to like skip the intros and stuff like that. What I did really appreciate about the end of this match, once Tama had scored that pinfall, was the camera shots that they had with Okada in one corner, Tama in the other, and Jay White just lurking on the apron with his title. All three of these men very much know how to play to the crowd, how to market themselves, and how to make themselves look really, really good. So that being said, I really have to appreciate how when all four of these guys get together, they know how to kind of get that attention on them. But you are absolutely right. I didn't really feel that this match was... It should have been a little shorter, I think.
Yeah. But again, nothing against it. It was a good match. It just if you're watching all these matches individually, if you're watching it as a full card, you could understand why I said this is kind of the downslope. But if you're watching them each as their own individual matches, could be an absolutely phenomenal match for anybody just to pick up and watch. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
But we're gonna move on to the semi-main event of the evening, and it is the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. The current champs, the FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, making their first ever appearance in New Japan proper, because they won these at the Forbidden Door show in Chicago, Illinois, or Rosemont, just outside of Chicago, against the former champions who they did beat for the titles, Jeff Cobb and the Great Okan United Empire. Again, crowns up for the best team going in wrestling today, but best group. And this match was an interesting match. It was, again, I don't want to shit on it because it was a good match. But I guess I had my expectations coming off Forbidden Door with how great their tag match was. Again, and it was a three-way tag match, including Rocky and Trent. I was just a little bit. Was it Trent and Chucky? I can't remember one of those two. It was one of the Trent. One of the two partners. I can't remember which one, but it didn't quite live up to what I was hoping for. Again, it was a good match. FTR looked good, but when FTR came out, I noted when they walked out on the apron, I think they were expecting more. But with this was a clapping only crowd, and they got some claps during their entrance, but I don't think they got the reaction they expected, because if this has been a cheering crowd, I think FTR would have got a great reaction. But they got their claps, but they looked almost lost on their entrance, because they're used to coming out and going, having like American crowds in North American crowds just jacked up for them. So I think this was a little bit of a culture shock for them in the sense that they weren't expecting. They were expecting a little bit bigger reaction. You could see it on their faces. In my opinion, I might be wrong. It's just how I felt. And then the match was good. Again, there was great stuff. Perfect. Like Cash Wheeler, I think one of the best guys going today. Him and Dax in singles matches. I've seen them in tag matches. They're two of the top. Again, the top guys. There's a reason they're called top guys. Like there's this beautiful Hurricanrana he hit on Cobb early in the match, and just the work back and forth. Like the dragon screw that Dax did to Cobb, like, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, that was actually something that I had noted, that it looked like usually, I don't know if it's just the person who takes it usually gets the foot a little bit higher, but it looked like Cobb had definitely rammed his heel a little bit harder and sooner than normal dragon screws, and it looked like it kind of did Jimmy the knee a little bit.
Yeah, and there was some really good stuff. Like FTR did hit their off-the-shoulder bulldog combo on the Cobb, but Khan did get that as broken. That pin followed it broken up. Again, I thought all these guys did a really great job, but it just Again, I think we're still in that valley of it starting to come back up. And by the end of the match, I think it had really picked up in the last couple of minutes of the match.
Yes.
Again, this match was shorter than I expected it to be too. I think the timings for the last match and this match should have been flipped. And the last match should have been shorter, with this one getting a little more time. But in the end, FTR did hit the big rig on Great O'Khan and did get the win, which is the flapjack into the code breaker and for the win. And FTR do retain their championships and will be back on January 4th to face off against whoever wins the tag league. So,
that is true. There was also a deadlift German that Cash did on Cobb, which Cobb took very, very well. I mean, that is not a light boy to bring up and over your head. But also the Great O'Khan, all hail, he had an amazing exploder. I can't remember if that was on Dax or Cash.
That one, actually.
I feel like it was probably on Dax. I feel like he got really, really good height on that one. But yeah, like you said, unfortunately they weren't. The United Empire wasn't able to kind of come up on there, and Great O'Khan, I believe, was the one who took the fall on that one.
Oh yeah.
Man,
the news came out. Was it yesterday or today when they announced the tag league? Jeff Cobb will not be entering. Yeah, yesterday now. Jeff Cobb will not be entering the tag league as he has sustained an injury. Speculated is his leg. So it will be Aaron Hanare actually joining the Great O'Khan in the tagging as his partner. So we were saved from having Aaron Hanare tag with Gideon Gray in the tag league.
And speaking of Gideon Gray, one thing I did want to mention that we haven't mentioned yet was Gideon Gray was actually doing all of the intros for the United Empire personally tonight, both in English and in Japanese, which I find very impressive.
I liked it. I really did. Like I'm not a huge Gideon Gray fan for his character, but what he has done with this team to really make them stand out with the entrances and things like that. I think it really does make them stand out because you get it's a very different type of entrance for them. And you also don't forget the Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. Was it Segi Miyagi was out with them?
Yes,
he's a presenter in Japan.
Yeah, I believe he ended up going on commentary, didn't he?
Maybe, but I don't know. He wasn't on the English commentary, which I was listening to. So
no, I think he was in Japanese commentary.
Yeah, he wasn't in English. So yeah, and all the English commentary, especially off the top, you really heard it. Audio quality was a little bit down early on in the show. It was Kevin Kelly broadcasting actually from the United States, with Chris Charlton broadcasting from somewhere else in Japan for this show, live along with the show. So the audio quality got fixed by about 2-3 matches in, but they were not on site, but they will be on site for the November 20th crossover show. And I think the first couple matches of the tag league.
Yes. And hopefully Kevin is nicer to Gideon Gray. My goodness, so mean.
He wasn't as mean on this show. But again, Chris Charlton was there to be mean himself. So
to help
Kevin
him be
didn't have
nice.
to be as mean. I think Kevin's as mean as he is to Gideon Gray in support of his friend Chris Charlton.
That's true. That's true.
So we're going to move on to the main event of the evening, and it was for the IWGP United States Championship. It is Tetsuya Naito challenging the current champion, crowns up for the greatest wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling going today, and that is Will Ospreay, baby. You may disagree, but I know I'm right. But this match, I think, delivered on every aspect I expected it to. It took their G1 semifinal match, and they topped it, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, obviously I'm a big Naito fan coming in on this, but Naito came in doing exactly what Naito does best, taking so long to get his gear off, playing those mind games and doing his poses, messing around with Ospreay. I really felt that Naito did really quite dominate Ospreay in the beginning of this match, leading to Ospreay really selling his shoulder, left shoulder as an injury.
He was focused on the neck and up
the kind of trap kind of thing, but like the whole area would prevent him from doing Stormbreaker.
the reason he had to give up the IWGP Heavyweight title was because he had the neck injury.
That neck injury, yeah.
So Naito was really working that area, the trap, the neck, the upper back. He was working that throughout the night. I didn't like off the top where Naito threw Ospreay to the outside, went to do the fake out the dive, but then as he goes back to do his Los Ingobernables pose, Ospreay slid in and posed with him.
Loved it.
And then Ospreay screamed, "Nobody's faster than me! Nobody's faster than me!" I'm like, yeah, I absolutely love that. But again, yeah, the first half of the match was really, actually, maybe first 2/3 was Naito just dominating Ospreay for a majority of that, and really working the neck, working the trap, working the upper back, and then it really picked up in the last little bit. In the last 10 minutes is where this match really kicked in gear. Again, I feel that's a New Japan thing where you get a slower first half.
Yeah, they lead you in.
Then it really picks up in the last third of it. And I thought these guys just killed it. Like, they were fighting on the outside, beating the crap out of each other. And they're on the outside, and then Ospreay gets an os cutter off the barricade to Naito on the floor, and both men are just laid out. And both men just made it back inside right before the 20 was called. Just the drama they created in this, with Ospreay holding his neck and really being affected by it. There was this poison Rana off the top that Naito goes for, but Ospreay landing on his feet and hits the os cutter onto Naito, but is so hurt it takes him so long to get the pin, and Naito kicks out at 2. Oh, dude, the drama in this was insanity.
Yeah. There was one point where I wrote down Frankenstein or Hurricanrana because I did not know what else to call it. Was that what you were just talking about?
Which one?
It was like
no, that was the other one. That was the one where he did the front flip DDT thing.
Yeah.
And it was an inverted DDT, but Naito flips over and then Ospreay kind of flips backwards, landing on his head. Yeah, that was another spot. I was talking the one where he got his shoulders and Rana him off the top, but the backwards poison Rana. And dude, just.
There was also a wicked neck breaker from Naito on Ospreay, which I think also helped contribute.
Yeah, that. And then there was this whole sequence. I think he ended up Naito hit 2 different Destinos that Ospreay kicked out of.
Correct.
And then he goes for the third Destino, and Ospreay stops it, catches him with a forearm hit, and then as Naito's getting up, he just smacks him with a hidden blade to the face. Just brutal. And then he lines up in the corner again and hits another hidden blade to the back of the head. But only gets a 2 from that. So that's where Will Ospreay hit Stormbreaker and got the 3 count. And man, this match was absolutely phenomenal, man. This is going on my contenders for match of the year, man. It has to.
Yes, this was a really, really great match. Both of these guys, as you mentioned, playing throughout the show, they are as much entertainers, both of these guys, as much as they are professional wrestlers and athletes. They're showmen. They know exactly what they're doing and when they're supposed to be doing it. This was the perfect main event to close off this show. And then to have the United Empire, gathering to help celebrate Ospreay in his wing with his glitter and stuff was very nice.
At that point, it was only Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, and Gideon Gray. So the 3 of the most recent members of the team out there with him. And Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis were in suits along with Gideon Gray. Actually, I thought Fletcher and Davis looked great in the suits. The suits, I really liked it. And then Ospreay gets the mic.
Nothing's more attractive than a sharp-dressed man. Just gonna say it.
Ospreay says talks about Finlay and Naito and everybody else who's stepped up to challenge him, and he's put them down. And he says he talks about the crossover show, and it's an open challenge. Whoever wants it can come get it. Who will be next? Does somebody from the Forbidden Door want to answer? And he waits, and nobody comes out. Then nobody counts. So he says no one wants to get in and he says no one wants to get in the ring in the ring with the best wrestler in the world, which I agree. Nobody should, because he's the best wrestler in the world. And I really thought, for me,
how is it you can be the best wrestler in the world if you're not performing in the ring?
But nobody wants to get in there because they're scared of him because he's the best. That's why.
I think it got proven, though, right after that announcement that there's someone who is not afraid to get into the ring with Will Ospreay.
He suckered him. But
did
Empire
he
leave the ring? Ospreay's about to leave. Lights go out. Shota Umino's music plays. The thing show that it's Shota Umino making his return to New Japan proper. And he comes out, makes the challenge. November 20th, it's going to be Will Ospreay defending the United States Championship against Shota Umino in the semi-main event, actually. And Umino ends up hitting a Death Rider onto Ospreay, and then has to bail out because the rest of the Empire makes their way out, and they're all chase him off. But yeah, oh god, this match was so good.
Yes, this match was good, and the next one is going to be just as good. I'm excited for it.
So as we say, the next one will be just good. We're going to go in. The next big show coming up is November 20th. It's Historic Takeover. We're going to jump through this one quickly. Just give you a little preview. What's it? So the pre-show,
a bite of a bite,
and as long as everything works out well, we will be doing a live stream watch along together. Not two separate people. We're going to be together at Mel's place.
So we can high five each other.
Can't wait. But yeah, as long as everything works out, we'll be doing a live watch along. It's 2 a.m. is the pay-per-view start time. We will, if we get a hold of the pre-show, find out where the pre-show is, we will probably do something on the pre-show beforehand. So the pre-show will be a New Japan Rambo. It's going to be the Oleg guy, the new Oleg guy, or whatever the heck his name is. I can't never remember it.
Oscar
Lube, whatever. I can't remember. Yeah, Oscar Lube, Kosei Fujita, Ryohei Oiwa, and Yuto Nakashima. Again, I'm not familiar with him.
Nakashima, yeah.
All from the New Japan Dojo, taking on the LA Dojos, Kevin Knight, Gabriel Kidd, Alice Coughlin, and Clark Connors in a pre-show match. From there,
you don't want to miss that one. Those LA guys are great.
Very much so. And then I don't really have a graphic because this is the graphic that was up. It's the the Stardom Rambo, the Women's Royal Rumble match on the pre-show. So
awesome. You don't want to miss that. There's going to be some incredible ladies.
And then this match, you got Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Lio Rush making his New Japan proper debut since he has joined Chaos, taking on House of Torture.
That was news to me. I didn't know about that. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Obviously there's going to be shenanigans here, but this is going to be a good match.
Well, Lio Rush did save Yo at the New Japan Rumble on 44th Street show.
Right,
so that's where he joined up. And then when we do our tag league preview, we'll talk more about what Lio Rush is going to be doing in the tag league.
Interesting.
Well, from here, we have the second match on the main card is Lady C, Azumi, and Saya Kamatani taking on Mai Sakurai, Thekla, and Himeka. That's going to be dope.
That is going to be absolutely incredible because Lady C and Mai Sakurai have not been on the best of terms lately, going in with the Goddess of Stardom tournament. So this is going to be, Queen's Quest represent, but Donna Del Mondo too. Holy man, who are you got on that one, Andre? That's hard.
Mondo, maybe. I'm not sure. It's a hard one to pick. But the next match is not hard for
Queen's Quest or Donna Del Mondo?
Yeah. This next match is not hard for me to pick, though, because you got Siri taking on Tom Lawler. Or, sorry, Siri teaming with Tom Lawler. That would be fucking amazing if you're Siri. You have Suri.
I think it would be pretty cool to see Suri face off against Tom Lawler. I'm not going to lie, but
I would love that. But you have Suri teaming up with Tom Lawler, taking on Julia and Zack Sabre Jr. This one is easy for me to pick because two of my favorites are in this match, Julia and Zack Sabre Jr. I'm absolutely excited to see that match. Man, this match is going to be phenomenal.
And I believe Julia and Suri, have been kind of spatting back and forth about potentially going after that red belt. So this will be a good setup for this.
I think it's December 29th or something
like
30th.
Correct.
They're facing off. So this is a preview for the Stardom end of year show. So yeah, you're looking at something pretty big here. And then moving on to an eight-person tag, you got Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Taichi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru taking on the team of Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, El Desperado, and Doki. This is the implosion of Suzuki Gun right here.
I was just going to say this feels like a very odd combination to have because, Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Desperado are usually a tag team. So that weirds me out a little bit, but also kind of brings me back to the show that both Desperado and Tai Chi were on with the Stardom. We saw, and I mentioned it
They
to
were on
you,
different
Tai
sides.
Chi was chit-chatting and whispering to Tom Nakano. Maybe they were setting up for this match. But we also know that Starlight Kid and Desperado have been seen together on their social medias, and Starlight Kid even has a half Starlight Kid, half Desperado mask. Could we be seeing it that night? I'm interested to see how this goes.
This is going to be an interesting match. And then from there, we have our next match. It's Utami Hayashishita. I think you're going to be your main highlight of the night. Utami Hayashishita teaming up with the Ace. I guess the Aces of Stardom and New Japan teaming up together. Utami
against the Samurais of Stardom and New Japan.
Yeah, against Maika and Hiroki Goto. I think that's going to be this match, I think, to me, is going to be just a clinic of professional wrestling.
100%. I have made statements in Stardom videos beforehand that I feel that Maika is essentially the Stardom Goto. So it's nice to see the two of them teamed up, ironically. This match is just going to be incredible. They've been listening.
Here. Yeah. And then I think one of the big matches for this, not this one, the next one. This is, I think, a pretty big match in and of itself. In the fact that you have Bushi, Takahashi, Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Naito taking on TJP, Francesco Akira, Gideon Gray, Mark Davis, and Kyle Fletcher of the United Empire in this big 10-man tag. I don't know. I don't read Japanese. So I don't know if it's elimination or not. It could be. I don't know. But it looks like it can be like a really fun 10-man tag to watch because you have these two warring factions because Naito and Ospreay have been at each other's throats. So you've got this like warring faction type of thing here, which I'm absolutely in love with here, this match.
Well, yeah. And then Bushi will also be a little stingy because he lost to TJP and Francesco Akira. Yeah, no, this is going to be a gooder.
I think to me the biggest minus in this match is that Teton's not in this.
Correct.
Again, I think these are the 5 core members of this team. They need to be there.
Do we think that Teton may have gone back to Mexico with this tour?
Well, the fact is, the next day the Super Junior Tag League starts, and he's in it. So, and we will be doing a preview of that, which will be coming out next week. We'll be doing the Super Junior Tag League and the Tag League preview. So,
correct.
Get ready for that. So let's make it in. And then this is, I think, the big kind of marquee match that nobody expected, but I think it's the Great Muta's final New Japan Pro Wrestling match with Muta, Toriano, and Okada teaming up to take on the team of the Great Okan, Aaron Hanare, and Jeff Cobb. Now the big question is Jeff Cobb going to be in this match? Being that it is out that he has taken a step back for injury reasons, he might be able to step up and do this match, but I know he's not going to be putting himself through the tag league this year. So could there be a substitution? The rest of the members are already involved in other matches, so you never know.
Could we see a tryout possibly for a new member? Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. But this is, I think, going to be this is a bonkers huge match because Muta coming back to New Japan for one more match is a big deal. And then from here, we have the semi-main event of the evening. Semi-main event here, ladies and gentlemen, is
the Young Ace.
Shota Umino challenging the Crown's Up greatest professional wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Will Ospreay. I got you twice on that now.
I am always going to respect the talent and the champion that is Will Ospreay.
I am so excited because if you watch the Royal Quest match, that was so good.
But Shooter, I mean, look at him. He's like a little baby Ace. It's like we're having a 2.0 of like 90s or younger.
Shota Umino.
Right, sorry. Roughneck. He will always be a shooter to me.
Yeah. That is the name that John Moxley did give him.
It is.
You can never discount that name.
And now we have a young Ace and a young Shibata. Like, back in New Japan. I'm stoked. And then the full Shibata. We got the real Shibata performing also.
He's doing his stuff over here in America, and it's been awesome.
Absolutely.
This match is going
to be great.
Like mind-blowing. And then you 100%. Have your main event. Mayu Iwatani, who just gave up the SWA championship in her pursuit for the IWGP Women's Championship, taking on Kairi. Like, legend that she is in Stardom. Like, my fandom entirely comes from her run in NXT and WWE, where I absolutely fell in love with this girl. I think she is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot wait for this. And I love that this is going to close at the pay-per-view.
Absolutely. And this kind of also concerns me also because we both know the reckless disregard that Mayu Iwatani seems to have for her body at times.
Kairi too.
But I was just going to say Kairi is pretty much the same. I would almost say a little bit more controlled with it. Mayu Iwatani seems to go like, let's go, Leroy Jenkins. And like Kairi is more of a, okay, we know the steps to go here. That being said, the two of them combined, it's guaranteed to be an absolute banger, but that they have the privilege to main event this show. Thank you. Thank you, New Japan.
I can't wait. I'm so excited that this is going to be the main event, and we're getting a historic match. This is the first ever IWGP Women's Championship will be crowned this night, and I don't honestly have no idea who's taking it because I think both women have just as much right to this championship.
Absolutely. What?
With that being said, we are done here for this afternoon. I do want to thank Rogue Energy for sponsoring our show. You can get your Shirakawa special online at the QR code below or the link below. Use OLE Pods for 10% off your order.
And if you're interested in watching New Japan, we will leave the link to the site in the description box down below. It is njpwworld.com. It is only 920 yen, works out to be about $10 Canadian. It is very much worth the cost. And like I said, all of the World TV Championship title matches are going to be free on that same site. So you may as well sign up and get the rest of the show while you're at it.
And I want to thank our friends at Backbreaker Video for hosting our show, as Mike does all the time. You can check them out up here, Backbreaker Video on YouTube. You can check Mike out on Twitch at twitch.tv/MikeTheRef. He does great jobs as a watch-along every Wednesday for the AEW Dynamite show. I highly recommend joining him there. And he plays all his other streams. He's playing video games, kicking ass. It's awesome. And I know he's going to be having a 12-hour charity stream coming up on, I'm pretty sure, the 16th of November. So please join him there.
Be a part of the solution.
And I also want to thank you so much to OLE Pods, our local establishment. They are been wonderful partners for us, and thank them so much. You can check out all of our Twitch stuff going forward, where you will be able to find on November 20th at 1:30ish in the morning, myself and Melball doing a live stream watch along of the New Japan crossover show, and on twitch.tv/our local establishment. And I want to give them a shout out also for their Instagram at OLE Podcast.
Correct. And if you're wanting to follow Andre Como, where can we find you on Twitter, Andre?
At That Canada Guy on Twitter, at That Canada Dude on Instagram. And I am on Facebook if you can find me.
If you're following Melball Collins on Facebook, you'll be able to find Andre because she tags him in almost everything. You can also find Melball Collins on Twitter at Collins Melball and on Instagram at Melball Collins. That being said,
everything we have is not the same across the board.
Right? Like everyone had the same idea we did at the same time.
Well, I own That Canada Guy on Twitter. I just forgot about it, and I started using Dude, and I'd rather keep going with my Dude account. So
that being said, I think that brings us to the end of our show. I am your Melball. That is your Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.